Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. This story streams live Sundays at 6 p.m. Central here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you missed the last session, you can check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description.
Last time, our group were in the wake of a terrible passing of Boko at the hands of the corrupted Titan. They were desperately trying to wrap up the battle while drained of resources.
Austin, you're not coming through.
You're like coming in and out.
As soon as you turned on the voice changer, it cut out.
Yeah, we lost you.
Am I back now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a very distant radio.
Radio in the other room.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna try this. Who knows what's actually working and what's not. New tech is fun. Anyway, last time our group was in the wake of a terrible passing of Boko at the hands of the corrupted Titan. They were desperately trying to wrap up the battle while drained of resources. The magical mishaps of the Mournland kept magic from being very helpful, but Theschault was able to quickly finish off the injured infiltrator and turn his attention to the Titan in a rage of vengeance. He was able to turn the tables on the creature, getting the Titan grappled and holding him in place as Roland let loose a volley of blasts from his rifle into the creature's head and chest until it fell down, unmoving. At the same time, Bungo was fighting to get free of the Reanimator's paralyzing ray as it slowly approached and imprisoned him. Thankfully, Renny was finally able to get his magic to break through and end the paralysis, while Rhea broke Bungo free. In the remnants of the battle, Theschault stood near Boko's body, feeling the grief and conflict of failing to protect a friend. Roland came over to offer some support and eventually attempted a speak with dead ritual in Boko's own garb to try and connect with his spirit. Instead, the spell found no dead spirit to connect with, and Roland discovered an unbelievable and yet undeniable truth: that Boko's skeleton was made of metal and not of bone. What kind of creation was this? What does it mean, and is Boko out there somewhere? Let's tune in and find out. So as we return back to the scene of this battle where you all had been sitting nearby this broken body, Roland, you had been the one that was examining the body after trying to perform this ritual and finding that it didn't latch on to any type of soul that you could speak with. Upon getting a closer look, finally willing yourself to look through the gore and the viscera, you found, rather than a bone spine, where this creature had snapped what you thought was your human friend Boko, it actually snapped metal that is now glistening in the dim light here, the flickering torch of Greystorm's flame. And it is unmistakable that the spine is made of metal, and even the pieces where the body has been broken, you see pieces of metal rib actually through the chest as well. What are you doing?
That to the mechanical engineers would be plastic deformation.
There may be another reason why the ritual didn't work.
What do you mean, he doesn't want to be contacted?
Not quite. Theschault. Theschault?
Huh? Sorry, what?
That image is beautiful in my mind.
Look. Down here.
It's alright. Do I see, like, that? I mean, clearly he's made of friggin' metal.
Might even be able to make some armor out of it.
Yeah, I mean, as soon
Wow.
as...
I mean...
That'd be a sick detail, though. Be very, very heavy metal.
Wears Boko like a flesh suit.
Well,
Do you want flayed ones?
Would
This is how you
Boko
get
really
flayed ones.
complain?
Waste not, want not, guys. Recycling is good.
yeah,
If Boko would
Theschault,
want to be a shirt, we all know it.
Theschault, upon
Wet
Roland...
Boko contest.
Oh god.
No,
No.
we're striking that.
The DM draws the line.
Good feelings gone.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so Theschault, as soon as Roland brings your attention to it, it's there. Like, you see the pieces of spine that have kind of been broken that are sticking out of the two halves of the body, and they are clearly metallic.
What in the... Wait. Okay, now I think I'm more confused. So... wouldn't this mean he would have to have been a lot like these things?
Austin.
Didn't he say he was kind of from here?
Now
Makes
Noah isn't
sense.
coming through on stream.
Ah, rats.
Wouldn't
What?
that imply Boko's corrupted too? He seems so hinged.
It's so unbelievably. I'll let him fix that up real quick and then I can keep going.
We're just gonna do the
Or
best we
maybe he
can.
is. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Whatever works.
I'm
So,
gonna.
yeah, I take a look.
I'm looking
Okay.
at the chat. I'll keep it attention. I'll try and edit what I can, but just continue
No worries.
on, and we'll capture what we can.
So just kind of like, because I mean, I'm basically in disbelief at this point, just trying to think of, well, you know, essentially. So, if he is like this, then would that mean that Well, that's a bit disturbing to figure out, but clearly he's not coming back. I mean, none of the other things that we've taken out have come back. At least I certainly hope not, as I kind of take a quick look around at the things that we just took down.
They did call themselves the Undying Legion. Maybe there's a way to undie Boko?
It certainly is a glimmer of hope. I suppose I'll hold on to. In the meantime, though, I suppose... Guess what does that mean for the sake of burial, though? I mean, you said this body's probably, like, really heavy, right? if it's like, made of assumed lined metal.
I mean, you've interacted with Boko. You've never noticed him being heavier than expected.
What?
You guy steps on something and it goes, "Eh."
Well,
Theschault
You know,
going,
though-
what kind of metal is this?
I mean, truth be told, I actually wouldn't mind, making
With
something.
Boko's state
by.
of disrepair, could he fit inside of a bag of holding?
We put Boko in his own bag. Wait a second. Is Boko's bag of holding an artificer thing, or is it actually a bag of holding?
It's actually a bag of holding.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
cool. Because I
Yeah.
was wondering if, like,
Everything
hours
just
after
Trades in a
Here's
certain
that
number of
everything
days.
just
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
A certain number of
shirt?
days
Yeah.
when it's gone.
Immediate yard sale.
yep.
That would be hilarious.
Okay, so I guess I actually kind of would want to fashion something, be it, small or something to at least have as a memento, I suppose. So what kind of metal is it?
We just don't need to bury him here. Bad things happen to things you bury here. We've seen that.
Yes, that's true.
Even
But-
just for my peace of mind, I don't want to bury him here.
So we put him in his bag of holding and we get him out of here.
He'd like that. He'll be with his shirts.
And my shirts.
They're all his.
Actually, that's a good point.
He's dead.
I'm going to
Give
go
him
find
this.
the bag of holding. I'm going to retrieve my shirts
Yeah.
from the bag of holding.
You're already stealing from the man. What else he's
From
got?
the Warforged.
Wait, do you have to know what is in a bag of holding? Oh no, you can just invert it,
Invert
right?
You
it.
can dump
Everything
it.
comes out.
Yeah.
Yard sale.
Let me open
Yeah,
my...
we can.
Oh, what
How
sort
much
of
of him-
awful things are in Boko's bag of holding that we don't know of?
I'm making sure I have my sheet open just in case.
How much of Boko could we get into his bag of holding?
I don't think Boko has anywhere close to the maximum. So I mean, theoretically, if you're down to get your hands dirty, you can get the body in. But like, it's a body that's been ripped in half. It's not cleanly going in.
It's only half as difficult as it could be.
But this
Think of the
is,
bright side.
this is something that's really weird. And needs additional study, and we're not going to get that additional study done properly on a small piece.
And
If
also,
it makes me feel better, this is not the worst thing that's been in the bag of holding.
any of the other
doesn't.
parts we might take too.
Alright, I'm going to... It's already out and about. So, yeah, let's start collecting the evidence.
I don't think I got any gloves left.
Could always try some
you-
prestidigitation.
Yeah,
Yes,
mhm.
we definitely, what could go wrong? We end
If
up
there's
with
Hey,
a
Roland,
sentient...
I've got a bad feeling about this, but if you get dirty, let me clean you up. I gotta try something.
We end
out.
up with a sentient cleaning spell.
That could, well, that too. I just feeling more malevolent than usual.
Would I be able to take, like, because I know that he's been broken apart a little bit, would I be able to take a small piece of metal to be able to fashion out later? So we'll put the rest of them in the bag of holding, but I kind of want to keep it.
We have another bag. We can put Boko in his. We can put everything else in mine.
What kind of piece do you want?
Yeah.
I mean, you said it's like
Salt?
his rib. You said his rib cage was probably in multiple pieces, so I figured
That
it probably
is
just
You're
more-
going biblical on us. You're going
Wait,
biblical
wait,
on us. You're going to
it's
rip
still-
out a rib out of Boko to make something new.
Not
A little
even
bit, yeah.
an arm. Like, that's at least thematic.
Companion for Theschault.
Not a hand.
Theschault, go
I'll
ahead
figure
and...
them out.
Well, I guess
Okay.
I'll roll for you, but we're going to do an investigation check here.
Investigate the chest.
Okay, that was a
Ooh, every chance I
24.
get.
Yo, okay.
So you kind of look over the body and kind of see some of these ribs exposed and do your best to try and kind of pull off a piece and even kind of use some tools. And this metal is extremely tough. Like, the tools that you have are not making any sort of reasonable dent into it, and your tools are capable of working steel over time. And so this is already strange. What's a bit more strange is that you actually find crushed pieces of some of the ribs and some of the spine from where the Titan crushed the body nearby.
Yeah,
These pieces
that's
that
more
were
worrying.
able to break apart. So you are able to grab to find a few fragments of this body that have,
good.
have broken away. These small bits of metal. But you know that whatever this Titan was crafted from is probably stronger than what you have, or at least parts of it.
Oh yeah, clearly that's terrifying. But yes, I would take those and just kind of take and put on my supplies just to be able to again fashion something just later. I'll
Yeah.
make it out. That'll be a good memory token for him.
Yeah, you can definitely find some of some fragmented
Pile of
vertebrae.
Powdered rib. There, maybe you can put that into the metal of something you make.
Well, working it's going to be a pain in the butt apparently, so I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do that. But anyways,
You've already got your hands dirty, so you can help Roland put him into Boko's bag.
We could make
Oh,
rifle
yeah.
rounds out of Boko.
Why are we
That's
taking
strong
him
metal.
apart? He's not been dead a day.
Anyway, since I have like the mech suit, which will probably be a little easier to like pick up this body and like help to kind of finagle the pieces into the bag, I would help out with storing the rest of it so that we
While
can
they're
take it
doing
with
that,
us.
Clyde is going to start picking up pieces of whatever these things were that attacked us, the other Warforged.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like busted legs, put them in his bag of holding.
I'll go out to Glide. Hey, if you
Why?
find any cool metals out there, would you mind picking them up? I mean, unless they're really cursed, in which case don't do it.
This stuff goes like hotcakes back in the city, I swear. They love this
No,
sort of
alright.
shit out there.
Clyde, can you give me a dexterity saving throw?
Absolutely.
Oh.
And we're dead again.
Hey, I can reroll. I'm a halfling.
Boko fights
It's
back.
not much better.
Also, I would love to have a charm to add to my bandolier of my own skeleton, like metallic skeleton. That would be pretty
That's
much.
what I'm saying, man.
You need to have
It
your
might happen.
skull as a totem necklace that you wear around your neck.
Can we make a Boko servo skull?
Yes! But it's gotta have like spider legs.
Also,
That'd be
if you guys
fucking
manage
cool.
to find my phylactery, let me know.
Excuse me?
I thought it was the pile of shirts.
The phylacteries they never suspected.
Yes, I have a dozen people around the entire world that are
It's
wearing
like the
my
half-eaten
phylacteries.
like thing of soup that's in the like bag of holding.
I can't wait. One of these things is gonna fucking grab me. It's gonna strangle me out here. Just an arm.
But yeah, Clyde, as you move to try and get some of these pieces and kind of pull them free, there are still some of these like pustules and gross on the metal of some of these creatures, and some of them kind of spew forth acid. And you take 3 points of acid damage just as you're trying to pull these things free.
All right, Clyde's already drunk. He's gonna take his last shot of moonshine because fuck this whole place. Lost Boko. And I forgot how hurt Clyde was.
Alright, let's get out of here before these
All right, 8.
undying legion undie.
Get out. Probably good.
Greystorm kind of looks at you all.
Oh, Clyde is. I've seen how drunk Clyde is.
Oh my gosh!
Clyde,
3
Clyde
and 4 rolls. Clyde's doing great.
Clyde picks the suit. Takes the shot and just face down on the opposite direction, just out cold.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Do I need to carry him?
I was going to say that we should find somewhere to rest. It looks like he got a jump start.
I really don't want to rest near that thing. I'll kind of like jerk my head towards the Titan.
We could head up back the way we came a ways. Or we could try and get further into these valleys.
Into the valleys. If this is some sort of patrol that guards this spot, I don't want to walk through it again in case they do undie.
He kind of nods, Roland. And the two of you kind of lead this group of... It's kind of a mix of... No one is really excited about the end of this battle. It's more just kind of staving off the exhaustion that is set in at this point. Everyone looks tired and weary. Everyone is trying to do their best to put on brave faces, but there is a lot of mourning and grief. You can see Jasira, especially, she hasn't had her mask on at any point throughout this journey in the Mournland because she hasn't needed it. Has the mask returned to her face in this moment, as she seemed to take the passing a little bit harder than most others, and everybody took it pretty rough.
I'm also going to go, and before we leave, I'm going to cut the head off of the one that was talking and take it with us.
Okay, what are you cutting in the head off with?
Knife.
You scratch with your knife, and it doesn't even make much of a dent into the metal here. There are pieces and places where these creatures are weak, but the metal that kind of keeps them together is extremely strong, and you could probably break it off, but it would take some time.
Look around for, do any of them have like a great axe or something?
No, these creatures don't have really many weapons at all. The emissary had like a staff that it had, and you saw that the infiltrator had like these blades on its arms, but other than that, all of the others used their hands or their claws.
Hmm. I mean, and I'll try for a little bit with I'll grab the staff and see if I can apply some leverage and just pop it loose, but going for joints.
You can give me a strength check if you want.
Okay. Hopefully, Clyde took care of all the bad luck.
Oh, Jesus Christ, guys.
It was so close. That was so close to a 20. It was so close.
It was. Rolled right off of it.
Yeah, you pry and pry at this thing, and it really you bend more of the other pieces that you're trying to pry with often, more than the metal of these Warforged. These creatures, whatever metal they're built from, at least the emissary in particular. The other Warforged don't seem to have this type of metal to them, but the emissary and the Titan specifically have this different type of steel, is what it looks like. It's shiny like steel, it's silver like steel, but it's much stronger.
Theschault!
I mean, I'll help out if I can, but I've already tried to pry stuff off of Boko, and if he's made of the same stuff, this is not going to go well.
Difference here is I don't care about the rest of it.
Alright, well, I'm also completely tapped on Hydro, so I don't have my blade. I can go try and help with just the suit. I mean, that might be able to, put enough power behind it.
Guys, I'm unconscious. Use a robot leg to pry a robot leg.
I already tried that. I rolled a 2.
The other Warforged don't seem to be made of as strong of metal. They're
Oh, okay.
a lot of these the corrupted Warforged, these kind of grunts, they seem to be made of more normal materials. But the emissary and the Titan specifically have significantly different metal that makes up their composition.
Okay, now I really want this head.
I'm curious. Is it the same kind as Boko's as I go over to check out the insert?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh shit.
All night here prying at these things. Clyde wakes up next morning. We're still here.
Yeah, I'll go try and help him. Roland.
All right, what are you doing, Theschault? Are you trying to just lever this thing off, or are you trying to use tools somehow?
Let me think. What would be my best option?
Boko's tools. There's made of special Boko metal. I made that up, but we don't know.
I think what I would do, I would take my grappling hand, hold on to the head, and then probably just try and drop one of the feet of the suit onto the body below the neck to see if we can't break anything.
Sorry, run that through for me one more time.
You gotta hold him up and try and stomp his ankles down so the head pops off.
Not the ankles. No, I'm
metal,
on his
but
drop the foot right below the neck and just hold the grappling arm and try and just tear the head off.
Okay.
Give me a strength check. Well, I guess I gotta roll that.
If you can do that. If you can do that for me, I'm about to get to my desk.
All right, I am. We'll see what this. Oh.
Things are going fantastic.
Does your armor do anything for your strength?
I don't know if it does as written. I kind of figured maybe it would, but at the moment, no.
Okay, cool.
DM, you know how you said if we get into combat today? Let's not. Let's
You're getting
not.
them all out of the way. That was a natural 1 for 0, Theschault.
There's so much red on my screen right now.
I don't.
Thank goodness this isn't how we started last session.
Oh,
be dead.
jeez. Oh, well, I guess after attempting it, just be like, sorry, no dice, Roland. I'm not able to get this stupid thing apart.
Drag him with us.
Yeah, I mean, you can bring the body with you if you want. It's heavy and bulky, but you could do it.
I will look at Roland and just look at the fact that I've already got him partially grappled. Did you want me to take him with us?
He's already holding him with his strong arm.
Can I shoot the lock? Like,
Shoot the lock?
like just with the rifle, just shoot every piece of it that's still holding on.
Just shoot the neck repeatedly.
Yes.
So you can see that there are different materials in here. So you were able to do damage to this creature specifically because like there are areas that can take significant damage, but the frame, the skeleton of this creature, what holds it together is what this metal is made of. And again, you can probably get it off. It's just gonna take a long time, and so you guys have spent like 5-10 minutes here trying to do something to get this off quickly, and it just hasn't worked. If you want to take an hour or two to get it off, you can do that, but at this point it's looking like that's what it's gonna take if you want to do it. Otherwise, you gotta leave it or try and take the body somehow.
I mean, if we're resting and we're gonna go into the valley, I guess we can just drag it over there. I could work on it.
Could certainly do that.
I guess that's the next best thing.
Oh, I just love that image. Just failed at everything. You know what? Fine.
Grab an ankle and start pulling.
You know what? Fuck it.
At least Boko has the respect of being in the bag, right?
So you guys, as you begin to kind of maneuver,
Who's taking Clyde? Who's dragging Clyde by his ankle?
Jasira can pull.
Jasira,
She's strong.
you kind of just grab Clyde and toss him up onto the floating disc that Greystorm always carries around behind him, just on top of the pile of gear. Like he's just like dumped on top of it.
Sack of potatoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hardcore. Whop.
Exactly.
Just snoring like crazy.
But you guys continue deeper into these into the valleys here as the kind of ridges that rise up to either side. They were about 20 feet where this battle took place. They begin to get taller and taller as they rise up, and the area gets darker and darker as Greystorm kind of lights up a few more torches and hands them out. How deep in here do you guys want to go to try and find a place to rest?
Since Ben just joined, let's see what his answer is to the question, how deep do you want to go?
And Clyde's already unconscious.
Oh, gee.
I don't know what's happening, but all the way.
Do you guys want to try and go all the way? You can try and traverse these entire things.
Clyde's for it. His vote is whoever's the majority is with right now.
I mean, hey, you know what?
Let's
Bungo
get-
said it.
Let's get all the way into the first, like, couple of shallows so that it isn't cresting one ridge and someone sees us. You said it's a series of valleys, right?
It's like imagine like a shallowish kind of canyon where there's just all of these little bitty rocky valleys nestled within these higher level kind of cliff sides or ridges. And so you guys are kind of maneuvering between them as they kind of split and grow and go between each other. And so there's different openings and different lanes that you guys are kind of maneuvering through. And as you're getting further in, it's getting higher and higher and higher. And so it's probably like 80 feet at this point on either side, after about, we'll say, an hour's worth of travel in here. And so it's not like they're going up and down and up and down. It's kind of going deeper and deeper into whatever this geographic area is.
Okay. Basically, I just want to get
plants look like?
I want to get a couple of turns in so that no one can see us from the entrance.
Yeah,
or from the first intersection.
Yes, you guys have made it a good ways in and have kind of twisted around to make sure that you're away from wherever this fight happened. And Joe, what did you say?
What do the native plants look like?
Here, there's actually not many. Even what you guys have seen all sorts of strange plants. And in these kind of valleys, it's really sparse. It's kind of rocky and dirt filled. Every so often, there's kind of these. They look more like bare sticks or sprigs that kind of pop out. There's no green color to them at all. They're very gray. They're very sparse, but there's small kind of areas of them every so often throughout this space.
Okay.
And they're maybe like a foot in length and like a straw's diameter size. Just these little shoots.
Do they bundle up kind of thing? Like, is there patches of them that kind of pop out together?
Yeah, a little bit. There's kind of like 5 or 6 of them in a small little patch each time you see them. 5 or 6 kind of these plants, and each plant kind of has these sprouts, maybe like a dozen or so sprouts per plant.
Okay. I would like to propose something. That who's our line leader?
I'd say right now probably Greystorm and Roland kind of set the path, at least.
Alright guys, hear me out. We used to do something like this whenever we were walking around and not wanting to be found. But you take whatever the native plant is and you put it on top of your hat. That way when you crest a hill, if someone's not paying attention, you just look kind of like a taller version of the plants that they're expecting to see. Are you for it?
I'm in. I love hats anyway.
Also, you wouldn't be the taller version of anything.
I'm not the line leader either.
Roland's about to get shanked in the dark.
The exact reaction I was going for.
Oh, Clyde's gonna wake up with a bunch of fucking sticks just stacked around him.
Renny, are you trying to grab some of these plants?
I am highly suggesting to my friends that they put some on their head like a hat. Like
I am already wearing 3.
Rhea,
Yeah, Bungo grabs some immediately as well.
They're gonna be poisonous, aren't they?
for Rhea and Bungo, these plants, they don't seem to harm you, but every time you go to reach for them, they kind of reach back and they kind of grasp on and wrap around your hand. And as you kind of pull them free, they move kind of like kelp or seaweed almost, where there's no resistance, but they definitely move and respond to your proximity.
Nice, this one likes me. They want to be friends.
Why is it reaching for my neck?
Yeah, Bungo has changed his mind.
Nope.
On second thought,
I'm really worried about all these
shit
sticks
I'm
being
out.
around Clyde.
I suppose they don't want to be hats. I just figured we weren't even remotely ready to fight anything else.
We're not. We're gonna take a break here. So
I'm not even sure I have a song left in me.
It's the saddest
Me
thing
neither.
I've heard.
But go find a plant you like and shake hands with it, because we're going to be here for a bit.
as you all begin to kind of find this space and settle down for a rest, is there anything that any of you want to do? Are you setting up a watch? Are you discussing anything? What are you doing with the emissary's body that you've drug through this dirt to get here?
Rocks, oonga boonga it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna work on trying to get this head removed for Roland so we can leave the rest of it here.
Clyde's gonna work
I'll
real
help
good
him.
on sleeping through the night from his drunken haze. Being
So-
real sad that Boko's in 2.
I tried the rock Unga
I'll be
Bunga
back.
way, and it didn't work. I'm gonna try and help Theschault by essentially finding the joints and applying levers and basically holding the chisel for him to strike. Right, with the tool is the idea.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the junction points
Um,
and be more precise about it.
Theschault, what tools are you proficient in?
Should be at least Tinker's tools. I might have it in Smith's tools. Let me check.
I'm 100% sure you have Smith's tools.
I'm pretty dang sure I do. Yeah, Tinker's, Thieves, and Smith's tools.
Okay,
These tools. What are you doing with those?
go ahead and
I mean,
give
you
me
know.
a Smith's tools check. We'll do for this one off of intelligence and then add advantage with Roland's help here.
Hell yeah! All right.
There we go.
That ain't bad.
Yeah. So you guys, you work at it for a little while, trying to get this entity to come free, and come free in a way that is not dangerous. It takes probably about 2 hours or so to get it fully removed, but finally you separate the head of this emissary from the rest of the creature's body. And looking at it, it is just strange and unnatural. The emissary, it had like this cage around its head originally that kind of like flowed into this large golden and blue metallic cloak that has just been kind of like clinking and chattering behind. The head itself had like dozens of these different pistons that formed some semblance of a neck, and is almost skeletal in appearance with this large open jaw with no teeth and these kind of deep set mechanical simulations of eyes. It is strange, and it just kind of peers at you in its dead state.
This is the deadest guy I've ever seen.
Or is he dead?
Not dead enough.
Is there something else that you want to do to try and make him more dead, Roland?
Intense hate.
That's directed hate at that guy.
I'll bag the head for further study, and I imagine it would be an even more involved process to get any armor plating off of it.
So, to try and get something that you could turn into armor, absolutely. This thing doesn't have a whole lot that is easily adaptable to a normal humanoid. However, if you want it, the incredibly heavy and bulky metallic cloak does seem to be, of the things that are removable and wearable, probably the easiest. It doesn't look practical by any means, but if you want to make a statement, that is an option.
Why not?
Take his shirt.
We'll grab it and bring it. I'll take its shirt. At the very least, we can like put it on a mannequin in the corner of the shop.
Yeah, and you kind of grab it and lift it up, and it's heavy. This thing feels almost like a full suit of plate on its own, and it takes some maneuvering to get it and all of the different pieces into the bag as you work at this, and it gets to be, you guys are exhausted at the end of this. Most everyone has kind of found places to rest or begin recovering, kind of doing what they can to clean up the wounds, the abrasions, the bruising that they have, and try and prepare. Some have kind of started up a small fire to cook some food. But you both are kind of drenched in sweat from this effort and just completely exhausted. Your muscles hurt, you're tired, you're frustrated from things not being as easy as you had hoped or not going the way that it should have. These metals don't seem to behave like the metals you're used to, Theschault.
That is extremely obnoxious, but it means if we can fashion it, it's going to be very resilient to stuff.
Sure.
Much as I wouldn't mind making another canister out of this thing, I kind of want to have the option to, engage in an act of desperation.
You do that. I just wanted to take something from them.
Also fair.
Roland's gonna dust himself off and yank up the bag and go find somewhere to sit down.
Yeah, you settle into a spot kind of resting up against the cliffside here. The place is much more secure than the last one. Anyone who could try to attack from above would be so far away that they would have to have some sort of repelling gear to even get close, and that gives you kind of a sense of safety. And you can have a good view from where you've sat of both up and down this particular valley. Theschault, are you doing the same and settling in to rest?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Gotta get a little bit at least.
For Jasira, as you are dealing with this grief and this new information, how are you processing that?
She is very quiet. I guess much more akin to how it all started. Whenever she met everyone, whenever we crashed into the island, it's removing herself quite a bit, seeking some solitude. She'll kind of just get to her own little far corner, and she's going to break out her knitting that she was working on for Boko. And she's just going to knit quietly.
You continue
just
to
kind of processing.
Yeah. You continue to use these enchanted needles to weave that spare the dying spell further into this fabric as you go through the process. More out of muscle memory than actual focus as you let your mind kind of drift off and detach. Theschault, yeah, you can, as you kind of move over and begin to charge some of your spell energy into this canister. Go ahead and roll me 2d20.
I actually wanted to use a level 2 instead. I mean, I know you just said I'm still willing to.
Then just 1d20.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, because I thought about it, I'm like, actually, it's more efficient to do the 2 because I looked at all my slots. Let's see.
We're about to fight a steam method.
So yeah, you settle down and charge this energy into the canister. And it seems to go off without a hitch, but you realize now that any actuation, any use of spells of any kind seems to connect with whatever happened in this space, with whatever's in the environment.
I kind of figured, which is why I haven't recharged it until now, but I'm like, okay, let's not do this mid-combat.
So much for resting.
For Renny, Rhea, and Bungo, the three of you are kind of newer to this group, but have been accepted and have had quite an adventure into the Mournland with everyone. How are the three of you processing this loss, this confusion?
I've seen people die before, and I really didn't like it, but it's never really been people I liked. And I found Boko rather fun, in an odd way, but still fun nonetheless. So, I am thoroughly displeased. It's a sensation that I do not like. I'm not good at processing yet. Coming from an organization where most people kind of make jokes and are really foul and then drunk after somebody dies, I kind of didn't know how to make a good joke. I didn't know what to say. I kind of nervously laughed back and forth a little bit, and then I got really, really, really quiet. And seeing as I normally talk, that's kind of odd. So there's no song, there's no music, there's just like sitting there looking kind of forlorn at the fire.
Rhea doesn't really do introspection or reflection. She's not naturally inclined to that. She's gonna instead, as a distraction, focus on something that's been bothering her for a little while now.
Getting called short.
So, huh?
Never mind.
Was that a short joke? No. She loves her height and finds it to be quite an advantage. Thank you for the segue. So she's gonna walk over to Bungo, and since we're about the same height, just reach over and put a hand on his shoulder. Be like, hey, you seem to do really cool magic stuff, and that's awesome. The disappearing into the rock thing, it's freaky. And it might be a little bit of an overkill. We are small, and people overlook us. Would you like to learn how to hide?
That would be great.
Rhea would like to start to teach Bungo hiding and stealth, so he will stop disappearing into the rock, which freaks her out. As a big fan of rocks.
As she walks over, Bungo is playing with the rocks using mold earth, and there's just fish like swimming in the rock as the stone shifts with mold earth.
Not natural.
It's really not.
I love rocks, but I like for them to be rock shaped.
You know, actually, it occurred to me, sorry, I saw her fight, right? I saw Rhea fight.
I believe so.
Yeah, you definitely have.
Many times.
So before I really settle down, really, because this shouldn't take too terribly long, I would probably go over to her and, like, as she's doing this, just say, would you mind if I take a look at your primary weapon, that blade that you wield around?
Oh, it's all yours.
Ah, excellent.
As I'll just thrift store, so
it won't work for a few months.
You
what?
Got it at a thrift store? You don't say that in front of Boko. He'll fall in love.
But I would like to apply enhanced weapon to it.
And what does that do?
I got it right here, actually. Boop.
That'd be sweet. I keep stabbing things and they just don't care.
So it's a +1 and it makes it a magical weapon?
Yeah!
Very nice.
I'm gonna go write that in all caps.
+1 to both hit and damage, Sammy.
Ah, nice.
As long as this is equipped with this, which I figure I'll just kind of inlay it with little kind of pieces to just, I don't know, I guess make it more efficient, effective, whatever it is, enchant it.
Yeah, what does that look like, Theschault, as you're kind of working on this blade for her?
I think what I would probably do is I'd probably just
steampunk sword.
Yeah, honestly, actually, if it was possible, just to just kind of a little bit of like grooves of some sorts into it, and like both the white and the hilt to just be able to make kind of like a little more dynamic, like kind of like turns a little bit almost. So maybe have a little bit of gear inlay into the because what is it? It's a rapier.
Yes.
Okay, so probably like some gear inlays into the little guard on the bottom part.
Mid thrust, a gust flies out. It goes over a foot.
Fancy.
Make it magical, like through, I guess, put a little bit of the heating coil element into it.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely, I figured it.
Well, now.
I figured it might make it a little easier to deal with these things and anything else that resists your blade there.
Yes, that was really annoying.
It's funny, I haven't gotten a chance to really, assist anybody with weapon stuff ever since Gale left, really, but I just really haven't had the chance. So, I'm glad to be able to help out.
Like a really useful skill.
Only so useful, I suppose. But I'm glad you're happy. It's good. I'm looking forward to seeing you fight in the next battle. And I'll just walk back off, kind of sit down and just ponder.
Rhea, because of the sinking into the stone thing and talking about important skills, I run out of spells quite often. Could you also teach me how to use maybe a knife or fight in some way so I'm not just running around?
Bungo knife arc.
We can try.
Give him a gun.
We'll see what sort of natural skills and affinities you have.
I cast Glock.
We'll have to see if
the
anyone
whole
has a spare
Harry Potter
knife.
series so much shorter. Vada kapang!
For Rhea, why don't you go ahead and actually we'll say for Bungo, why don't you go ahead and give me a dexterity check at advantage with Rhea helping you out here.
Woohoo! You're a natural.
Rhea is a talented teacher, and she begins to move you through these motions, kind of working up on basics of how to hold a blade and without cutting yourself. Some simple maneuvers for how to avoid being hit, and also how to strike your opponent, especially using your small stature. And you kind of make the first step towards learning this skill.
Between this rib and this rib, that's where you want to go.
Stick him with a pointy end. We're basically watching the reverse of Arya's training in Game of Thrones.
Is anyone else doing anything through the evening before you all take your rest?
Clyde has been passed out this entire time.
Is anyone doing anything with Clyde, or is he just staying on top of the...
Clyde is just up there, is just snoring away. His moonshine's never hit so hard.
This is how we know we're playing a high fantasy game. Something traumatic happens to you and you still get 8 hours of rest.
Right. Well, he's getting 8 hours of rest because he drank himself into oblivion, so that's a little more realistic.
That's how Clyde is. That's how Clyde is used to dealing with trauma.
We know it's a fantasy game because we're getting 8 hours of rest.
Yes.
Oh, you think if Boko gets 8 hours of rest, he'll wake up feeling fine?
In the bag of holding.
Well, the way I figure it, wrapped up in the shirt, it's like he's a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. He's gonna liquefy inside that cocoon, and then when we come back after the break, we'll get a Boko butterfly.
What happens
Which is
next?
just Boko with fly speed.
Emerging from the bag of holding. Look at me. I am a beautiful butterfly.
It's just this horrible nightmare.
Are you guys setting up any sort of watch for this?
I hope they are.
And I'm wearing the eye patch, so I'm aware through the whole night.
So for the watch, who is taking this first round of the watch?
Bungo's gonna have trouble sleeping, so he'll take the first watch.
We could go first and practice / keep watch. Then,
That
if an
sounds
enemy
great.
appears, we're already ready. We've warmed up. It's like
We get
stretching.
some real practice.
That's not what we're hoping for, though.
Well, you don't speak for both of us, so
Why don't you both make me perception checks at disadvantage here?
Not bad, not bad.
Not great, not great.
As you two are focused on your training, the darkness around you kind of ebbs and flows as the fire kind of dies down. And without having access to too much fuel, you're not able to build it back up. And so it is quickly dwindling down further and further. And it reaches almost embers as the darkness kind of closes in around you as you both finish up your watch. But
Wait,
When we burn the sticks that
I'm
reach
gonna
for
be
us,
useful. I have
same
one
thoughts.
spell that's never come in handy, but it can make a flame brighten.
all right, roll me a d20.
Oh,
Hey yo!
oh well, I'm gonna do it anyway. I've never got it. No,
Stands
wait!
up and yells at the fire.
I'm an
Come on.
idiot. Sorry.
I have not seen what the.
I'm so sorry. I was so excited that one.
we're gonna
spell
roll a
was
1 and
finally
we're gonna end
be
up with
useful.
Calcifer.
Oh,
No, it's
worry,
gonna be a
everybody.
loud noise. It's gonna
Tangy
be
has
right
arrived.
next to Clyde, and he's
girl.
having this great dream where
I
Boko's still
apologize.
alive. And
This is great.
Okay.
No need
He
to
used to have a dream
apologize.
still. He gets to wake
No.
up sad.
somebody needs
Okay.
to mute me before I speak.
14's fine.
You extend out your hand towards this this fire and you surge this arcane energy towards it, and it flickers like these small little sparks that hit the last embers and begin to flare it back up to life, and you watch as the fire kind of fans to different directions, and you even have some fun with it. You kind of twist it, turning it a darker reddish shade that kind of casts this ominous glow for a little bit before you see a shiver kind of run down Bungo's spine and shift it back to normal colors. But it seems to give it a bit of a breath of life. Who is taking on the second watch here?
I mean, I'm willing to. I feel like I already did a lot though, so like I don't know if you'll let me, I will.
Yeah, no,
but-
everyone
Okay.
can certainly participate in the watch.
Sweet, I'll take a watch then.
All right, Theschault,
just
go ahead and give me
always watching.
go ahead and give me a perception check.
Sounds good. Oh, not an advantage, and wow, that's the greatest +0 I've ever rolled.
Theschault, you listen through the night, and the area around is surprisingly quiet. It's that kind of distant echo of an empty cave where any movement kind of bounces off the walls. And even though you can't see very far, you feel like if anything were to approach, you would have a good bit of warning before it began to press into you. But as you're kind of sitting in this this space here, some of those plants, you kind of watch as they seem to almost crawl along the ground. They're kind of shifting and moving, and you watch as some of them kind of actually seem to move their roots, kind of digging up out of the dirt and kind of stepping slowly, moving closer, pulling the roots back down into the ground. And you watch as they kind of edge a bit closer and closer to all of you, kind of on the edge of where this fire is. There's almost like a ring of them starting to form.
Interesting. Is Roland up?
No, you're doing this watch alone right now.
Okay, yeah.
I am aware.
How long has this watch been?
Normally.
You're about halfway into it, so about an hour into it.
The troll's just sitting there going, Indy, why does the floor move?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Well, wait, no. If I leave, then who's gonna watch the plant circle?
You're all close enough around this area. Like the plants are closing in around all of you.
I'm gonna let Roland know and just go over. Hey, Roland. There's plants out there.
Fascinating.
No, like there's plants, but they're getting closer. They look like they're surrounding us. Not great. I'm not a plant guy, so like I was kind of hoping maybe somebody else would know if this is normal or not.
I'm not a plant guy.
Boko was the plant guy.
I will have a staring contest with the nearest plant and see if I can see anything off about it.
Give me
Insightful manipulator?
Sure.
Yeah,
It's
if you want to.
Yeah, if it's a creature.
Go ahead and give me what is it? Insight?
Investigation versus deception.
Investigation.
Oh, there's gonna be some
25.
deceptive plants.
Charisma bonus at plus 15.
So you have
We've been burning their children all
you have a
evening.
perfect opening or anything below.
Excellent.
But you watch as this plant is just sat in the ground, kind of look it over, wait for it. You don't even it's a plant in the ground. I mean, you don't even see it moving. You're not sure what Theschault was talking about. And then you look around and you're like, oh, there is kind of like more of them around than I thought. And they're like, kind of like, it's not really a circle, but you can kind of see what Theschault was getting at. And they didn't seem to be like that before.
There. Menacingly.
Exactly.
Is this something we have to deal with right now, or is it something we can deal with in the morning?
I really hope it's the second one because I don't want to have to deal with these right now. I mean, worst case, you can go back to sleep. I can keep watch. And if you suddenly hear me saying that there's plants attacking, now you know where they're probably coming from.
You feel a tightness around your throat.
Well, then let's hope their bark is worse than their bite. And he's going to lean back and go back to sleep.
That's a good one.
Boko rolls over in the bag of holding.
Into his cocoon. See? The prophecy.
I guess if some of the shirts were silk.
Theschault, you kind of carefully watch the plants for the rest of your watch. They don't ever seem to move again, but you're eyeing them. You're eyeing them real good. But that fire continues to get lower and lower and lower. And eventually it is just a dull glow of the ash, and you can just barely see some of the closer plants. The rest are out in darkness.
I mean, what it sounds like is they decided to make gathering fuel easier for us.
These things are small, like little brush. Like you could certainly burn them, but they're not going to fuel the fire very well. It's like thin grass or reeds.
Fire.
Yeah.
You burn faster than you could collect it.
Exactly. Who wants to take the third watch this evening?
I got it.
Jasira also could. She only needs 4 hours of rest, so after 4 hours, she's up and ready anyway.
Jasira, can you roll me a d20?
Watch. That's when Clyde's gonna wake up.
Sure.
Here as rest starts attacking everybody.
Jasira, you always find that in your meditation, you kind of drift into this darkness. But this evening, the darkness was filled with this red pain and rage, this grief that you're holding on to, that you're not dealing with, and you feel the emotions kind of swell inside of you. And the meditation itself is not really helping. It's not relaxing like it normally is, and you find yourself more intense, more on edge. And as you kind of wake up, it's only kind of emerging from this meditative state that you begin to kind of be able to push these feelings back away and try and get back to some sense of calm. You kind of come to, and Roland is kind of getting up and stretching from where he's still a little stiff, still a little tired. Kind of takes a look at and kind of looks down at some of the grass on the edge of your group, and you don't know why, but he seems intent on it.
Everything okay?
Just the strawberries. Theschault thought they were moving.
Uh-huh.
I tried to work a pun off of knee into that, but I couldn't quite get
I think I'm paranoid about plants now.
Yeah, my brain was gonna do something like, "We better go catch them," but then clearly they're not moving right now. So
yeah,
you know,
you gotta be careful before they take you out of the knee.
Just here, you kind of come over and look them over. They're the same plants that you've seen. You're not sure what's special about them. They don't seem to be doing anything interesting.
Maybe you're seeing things. Maybe he was, but
It's
seems
been
okay for right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead and for both of you, roll me a perception check, please.
You have to be. Well, I've got my detect life, so.
LOL. Plants are not moving.
Them some plants.
Or
Totally
are
plants.
they?
Ooh.
Oh no, they're the legs of a multi-legged beast.
You give
They
some.
all start swaying in synchronization without any wind.
You guys give some time to like watching these plants, and certainly don't see them move throughout over an hour of kind of glancing back up at them. Maybe they must have adjusted somehow. Maybe Theschault just saw something. Who knows? But right now they seem docile and unmoving. But what you do see is a strange glow that begins to kind of flow towards you. And Roland, you're the first one to pick up this. It's like a light white blue glow that is kind of drifting down one edge of this valley towards you all.
You see that?
See what?
That up there.
And Jasira, you look up and you see the light. It's kind of approaching slowly, but it's getting brighter as it comes in. It's not bright, but it's you can tell it's getting closer because it's getting slightly brighter as time is going on.
Is it more like a mist or an orb?
It's not a shape right now. You kind of see it from the reflection of the light onto the kind of edges. So you can see that it's getting closer, but you don't see the source yet.
Okay, it's just kind of coming over the top of the hill and...
No, it's coming from within the valley, kind of up the path that you had come from.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, I see it. How quickly is it coming closer?
It's pretty slow. Like walking speed. And as you're kind of watching, you've got a good view down both sides for a good ways. You kind of chose this spot with Roland's guidance for a particular reason. And you can start to see now the source of this is some sort of emanating light. It's not really an orb. It's kind of a taller, like oval shape, but it's above the ground, but it seems about the size of like 5 feet tall. You can kind of you start to make out these rough approximations as it's still a ways off, and it's still maybe a couple 100 feet, just slowly getting closer.
Let's wake them up quietly.
You move around slowly, kind of nestling everyone, getting them awake, letting them know. Even Clyde kind of groans and groggily kind of sits up at least. As this entity starts to get closer, you see more and more detail as you start to make out what appears to be kind of a humanoid shape from the top up, but it kind of breaks and trails off where legs should be. It's this floating specter of some kind.
Is it giving off any sort of vibe from this far away, whether it's like a feeling the energy, is it positive, negative, uncertain?
Give me an insight check.
Well, and Clyde wants to see if he remembers, after traveling before, if he'd remember stories from other scavengers, anything like this.
Yeah.
That's a good insight, though.
Give me a history check at advantage, Clyde.
Not bad.
He's still hungover.
Yeah.
Clyde, your head is woozy, but you've definitely heard stories of all sorts of undead in the Mournland. There's everything from people petrified in place to skeletons, zombies, ghosts, you name it. There are probably some sort of creepy undead that legends have claimed lie within the Mournland.
Maybe we just kick the fire out and pretend we're not here.
And then if you look down, the fire is pretty much out at this point.
Maybe we just pretend we're not here.
I'm going to post up on a rock and get sights on it.
Everyone,
You be ready to talk if it approaches.
All right.
everyone kind of takes up positions and kind of preparations. And it does seem to be kind of drifting down this valley. It's going to hit you all at some point. And Jasira, you've been kind of watching it. It doesn't have some of the telltale signs of angry undead that you're familiar with. You don't know if this realm is different than your own, but its fingers aren't elongated. You don't see its mouth gaping or hanging open. The light is kind of this soft, cool light. It doesn't seem to have the angry vibes around it of a malevolent spirit. And as you kind of watch it, you see that it is this human, or see what seems to be a reflection of a human woman that, again, is kind of from the waist up, seems to be just kind of a spectral form of herself, but just kind of floating with this broken spiritual trail behind her as she's floating towards you all. She's kind of about 100 feet away, slowly moving forward.
Quick question, DM.
Mhm.
Has Clyde been asleep for 8 hours?
No, probably about 4 or 5 at this point. No, it would have been...
He's getting close.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll for it. 11 or higher, and we'll say yeah. Yeah, because it has been 2.5. It's been 2.5 watches, so it's probably been 5 or 6 hours for everybody. You're at 9.5.
7 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Clyde, it's more that the rest that you've had is not quite as rejuvenating due to the nature that you were in. And so you haven't quite fully recovered yet.
I don't get a bad vibe from it right now. Doesn't mean it is good, however.
No, but it's coming this way. So obviously pretending we're not here did not work. Yeah. Roland's up there, I guess. I'll stand up here in front. Hopefully talk. Maybe.
Jasira is probably curious enough that she'll kind of stand up towards the path a little bit too. Just kind of wherever they might. This spectral being will kind of walk past.
Yeah, the two of you step forward and it keeps getting closer and closer. It's about 30 feet now as it's moving directly towards the two of you, just kind of moving down the path.
Hello, are you aware?
As you call out Clyde, the creature kind of turns, lifting its head. What?
Oh, well, that probably wasn't good.
He was stuck with plan A.
Hello, can I help you?
Well, maybe, but probably not. We're just kind of passing through right now, mourning the loss of a friend.
I'm worried I might be doing the same.
Yeah, there's a lot of that here.
Indeed. Many lost, looking for other lost. I'm trying to find my husband. He came to this place, and I'm worried what might have happened to him. It's an adventurer's life, really a mercenary's life, if we're being honest. It's not quite safe anymore these days, is it?
No, and being a mercenary, it's safe were never things that went hand in hand. I do know from experience.
This is true, but back home it just seemed... It seemed like we were so far from the war, you know. I never thought that he would risk going this close. What about you? Are you all from this place?
No, though one of us, the one we're mourning, might have been. Now we're doing our best to leave. I think we've got our fill.
I can understand that. I can't leave until I find Trevor, but I'm anxious to get out of this place. And, well, I suppose the wars in general have a strange way of turning families against each other and turning, well, making families of your own in strange circumstances. I'm sorry about your companion, even if he was from this place.
Thank you, and I hope you find your beloved Trevor. Hopefully the moons can guide your path, even in this dark place.
Sovereign shine on you. And the specter kind of continues to press by you. You will both watch as there's this cold feeling as it drifts by. Kind of continues on its way through the valley.
After going a little ways, Clyde will lean over to Sarah. I hate this place even more. I'm going back to my pile. Please don't let Roland wake me up.
There's rumors about moving plants, just so you know.
Well, I'm sure that'll be fine.
Nobody's gonna believe me, and the plants are gonna kill us all.
But if they kill us all, you were right. So there you go.
There, Victor.
I don't like that trade.
No matter what happens, you lose.
As you all kind of get back to your camp, and do the best you can to finish up the remainder of your rest.
Clyde's spot's not warm anymore.
The rest of the evening is uncomfortable, but seems to go without issue.
I wake Clyde up for the last watch.
Oh, it's like 20 minutes later. Clyde,
no.
I hate this place so much, and I'm out of alcohol.
Me too. Good night.
Yep. I hope the plants strangle all of us.
You son of a gun.
What a pleasant thought.
Clyde will take watch.
You all can go ahead and check off your long rest and recharge your abilities and stamina, as well as 1 HP here, since we're still in the Mournland, if anyone lost HP.
I'm going to have to redo my math. I think I did. I think I got from the spell. I think you took exactly 1 from me. From when we tried... Last time Clyde tried to heal someone. Well, 2 times ago when Clyde tried to heal someone. Hasn't gone well yet.
Now, for Boko, you had found yourself in this strange place. But what was much worse was finding yourself in this strange body. As you're in this bit of consciousness, but this paralysis of some kind, unable to shift and move your body, but with the strongest of willpower, and even then it fails quickly. What is Boko thinking? How is he processing all of these different strange visions that he's had? Does he feel like he's in a vision still now?
Is Boko still on the metal table?
Yeah, you see around you, this room is dimly lit. There's kind of one single overhead light that casts these harsh shadows along the wall. The air kind of feels thick with this sterile scent of antiseptic, but it kind of lingers, this faint acrid tang of something unplaceable or wrong. And these instruments that gleam around you on cold trays have sharp edges that kind of catch the light. And you sit on this table and feel this cold, shallow pain across your back. And it's about at that point that you realize that you're actually not breathing and haven't been. And there's that gentle, faint clink of surgical tools being arranged that echoes in this oppressive silence.
I think Boko is fighting as hard as he can against his senses to try to focus a little bit of clarity on any kind of identifying marks here. If his mind is still his own, he would be leveraging his knowledge of how the architecture of this place and seeing if he's familiar with what faction of people would create this kind of laboratory.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check at disadvantage from Boko.
Investigation at disadvantage, and I am gonna try to leverage. I think it's this one. No, I don't think it's that one. Anyways.
Yeah, but trying to determine the tools and things.
Investigation at disadvantage. I do have a critical wound, so I have -1 to all my rolls.
So all critical wounds you can remove, as that was on your previous body.
Yo, crits avoided! Hooray!
Hey, this feels like a loophole.
Yeah, universal crit recipient, and then when he gets used up, we just discard him and get a new one.
We just dump him all, it's fine!
The universe can't be without one, so it made a new one.
Have you considered throwing your Boko out and getting a new one?
Oh, I love this year's model.
I would love to get rid of this. I love how you didn't even have to tell the DM. He's like, you can get rid of all of your critical wounds. Because he knows I have multiple.
More or less than 5.
Only 2 at the moment.
Slacking.
Boko, as you look around, specifically trying to focus on these tools, on this space, there are still those kind of visions that kind of blast into your mind, these flashes, these places. There is something hauntingly familiar about this place, and you know that you have been here before. And you see the tools that are around you, and they're a dichotomy. Half of them are strange, almost like carpentry tools meant to peel and carve.
Oh.
The others
nope.
are almost exact mirrors or replicas of the own set of tools that you carry around with you.
And you said these scientists are Syrian, or was that from one of my visions?
That was from a vision, but as you kind of look around, there are some similarities to the pieces that the machinery, the tools, the space that you see around yourself in that vision.
As spot on as we've recently discovered that description is, we are not in fact in a Syrian prison right now.
I don't know if Boko would have the presence of mind to do much else other than just try to gather information, testing the limits of how his body moves, if his body moves.
He now has completely double-hinged elbows and can wrap them back around.
Your body struggles to perform any sort of basic interaction, basic movements. It takes minutes to try and move a finger slightly. You've tried to focus to move your arms and got it once to lift one up, and it took who knows how long to do. So you focus on what you can do. This observation, this intake of information through your blurry, hazy vision. It's like you need just extreme corrective vision and don't have the right glasses. It is blurred, and only the things that are close to you seem to be coming in any sort of detail, and it's more the distant familiarity that you seem to have with them rather than actually being able to see them for what they are. And that's when you notice a figure on the edge of your vision. Their silhouette long and angular beneath the light, and there's something unsettling about their posture. You can just barely catch a side of their face, and through the shadows and the blur, you see that it's partially obscured by some sort of mask. And yet there's this visible sharpness, this lack of warmth to the eyes. And there are shadows that seem to indicate some sort of long shapes around this creature's head. And you can catch sounds as you start to focus on them, blending them into words, blending them into something that you can just start to make out and understand. They really have no idea, do they? They have still caused much trouble for us. More if they develop any idea how to wield it. Good thing we reunited with an old friend that can show them the way. And at this point you see these calculating eyes shift over, notice you moving again, watching you slowly struggle to open and shut your mouth, and the figure suddenly appears much closer. You hear their voice, soft and quiet next to you. Oh, hush now. Don't try to speak. I know it may seem like we are cruel monsters of nightmare, crawling out of the darkness of your memories. And in a way, I suppose we are. The truth is, we are only here because the world was dark enough to dream us into existence. Deep down, it needed us to protect them from themselves. And we heard it, echoing through the cosmos, through the very firmament. A great ringing. Boko, go ahead and give me another investigation check.
Is this going to be a disadvantage as well?
No, this one will be flat.
Investigate.
Ew.
This entity, the longer that you look at it, it appears like the less it wants to be seen. It seems to have hair, but its features are deep and recessed. It looks and appears humanoid. You see bare skin, but these shapes that just wrap and move around the head. You may be scared right now. You do not need to pretend. You don't know why you were brought here, but you know it. The answer can't be good. And you're right. It's not. You see, when the sirens began experimenting with shedding mortality, their thoughts were of freedom from fear and disease. Others on establishing an empire that would never die. They did not think of what else immortality would entail. They thought in terms of war, destruction, conquest. But eternity also requires that you would call entertainment. This is mine. There are things which words cannot explain. You must experience them without words. This will reveal so much for you. The limits of your mind, the boundaries of your will. They kind of pause, and you can see their head tilts as if studying a puzzle, and those shapes around it move and press and twist. Today we shall see how far you can go before the edges begin to fray again. But don't worry. This isn't just for my curiosity, it's for yours as well. You'll learn what you're truly made of. They say a man never really knows himself until his freedom's been taken away. I wonder, how well do you think you know yourself? The light above seems to grow brighter, blindingly so, as the sound of the scalpel's first cut is swallowed by the darkness creeping back into your mind. Boko, as you tumble through darkness, as pain starts to surge through what you can only describe as every nerve you thought you had, what does Boko's mind drift to? What is he thinking of? What is he drawn towards?
I think Boko is trying as hard as he can to muster some form of clarity, to call upon the images of his friends or something to motivate him, something to prove that there's something worth making through this. But I think they would be tainted by that very same voice telling him over and over and over again, none can escape the price of flesh and soul.
You tumble through this darkness, watching different individuals of your past. You watch Roland kind of standing there. He turns at you, the burned side of his face, it begins to grow and expand, embers kind of pushing to the surface as the fire wraps across the skin, burning away the flesh, blackening the skull as the body falls back into the darkness, and that same voice echoes that mantra back at you again and again. You watch Jasira, rather than her body, just the broken mask that she wears, the tatters of her gown. You see Theschault's metallic armor that has been ripped open like a giant can opener and just splayed in all directions. There is no body left, but there is a coating of dark blood and black viscera. You go back further. You see a child laid into the frozen ground of a silent winter as snow begins to pile upon her small form. She tries to stumble forward, but she's sick. She can't move enough, and the snow is building up. And you eventually watch as shadow consumes her. You go back and you feel in this small space, this wooden hut, working with a friend, carving, connecting, repairing, working on a project, but not one of metal or wood, one of flesh and bone, twisted, wrapped, warped. And as you work at it, it begins to get more and more mutilated, more and more disturbed as that mantra echoes in your mind. You find yourself standing in a small room and yet surrounded by these soldiers you don't recognize. 8 or 9 of them laying at your feet, bloodied, throats and arms and chests cut open and dying. You feel your lungs clogged with smoke as you stumble through open space, coughing, dropping to the ground, as you too succumb to the darkness once more. And then you find yourself back in that place that has become so familiar now. A different type of operating bed in that rural hospital. The other cots around you half filled with other sick and dying. And yet a hope lingers because of the companionship here and because of the angel that watches over, that matron. You feel a bit of consciousness come back to you as you're lying here within this bed. Are you drawn to anything? Do you move or talk or try to reach out towards anyone in this room? You see a few other individuals lying on these beds, and you see that shape in white slowly drifting between them, doing what she can to bring them respite and happiness.
I think Boko's eyes would be firmly placed upon the matriarch, watching her sort of dance from bed to bed. He would only notice the figures in the bed as she bent down to tend their wounds.
This figure moves to each one, giving them all thought and attention. Eventually, she comes and stops at the bed next to yours. One of the older individuals in this area. Most of you are young or children or teens. He seems to be almost at the edge of adulthood, but also filled with this sickness, with this disease that has claimed his body, and she gives him careful attention, cleaning the wounds, doing what she can to help bring some bit of peace to the pain. And then you watch as she steps over towards your bed and leans over, that smile, that glow, those soft features, and you see her white cloth just stained with dark red of blood. As she moves to clean your wounds, are you doing anything? Do you say anything?
I don't think he would say anything until she moves to leave. He would let her fuss over him for a moment. And when she turns to leave, he would reach out to grab her frock. Say, "Just a moment longer, please."
She turns back to you with a soft smile. You still have plenty of songs left to dance and stories left to tell. You need not be afraid. Your sleep echoes into the night, but it may yet end. She kind of puts a soft hand down to you. And as she gives you the time that you requested, slowly this distant cacophony begins to build and build until she has to acknowledge it. She turns to look, and another person seems to open the door as suddenly there is a wash of light but not the bright yellow light of day. It is the dark amber light of flame. You can hear distant yells and screams, the beating of hoofbeats, and already the top of this hospital is beginning to fill with thick black smoke. You can see as the matron moves immediately into action, only needing a moment to compose herself before she begins to wrap up all the sick and injured, pulling you all together and trying to get you to safety, getting you out into this town where there is chaos, everyone trying to find safety and cover. You begin to try and maneuver along these buildings, trying to find a safe path somewhere to get away from whatever this danger is. You wander, you stumble, you're picked up, you move, and you see as she leans towards you, and there is this confidence, this energy around her. She just softly whispers, "Go, flee, my child, before the darkness returns to you." And you begin to try and press away, but she kind of pulls you and pulls those around you, and for a moment you can see this intensity in her eyes. Remember, there is always a cost for dancing with death. Few men find they return as whole as they left this world, and fewer still return carrying proof of their journey. Go. You feel yourself whisked away, pushed through the edges of smoke and flame. You give one last glance backwards as you see her form standing there, calling out to others, leading and organizing whatever type of escape can be made here. And you watch as a dark shadow emerges from behind her. This entity that looks like something out of your nightmares more than a soldier. And you see that dark patterning of blood is colored crimson with a new wound. And it spreads quickly across her white form as you press further, deeper into the smoke. Boko, as you look back, as you think back on this memory, you know that you were there. You know that you saw this, that you experienced her warmth, and you felt her cold, shattering heart when she was ripped away. What other things does Boko remember or feel about that night?
There's something that Boko does remember. It's almost as if the memories of two lives crash into each other for a moment as Boko thinks back to his journey through the Mournlands, finding the boy Maris, or Maris's younger brother. And why Boko felt so viscerally about saving him. As, in a younger form, Boko stands before this wall of mist with children. All of them terrified. Fire licking the walls of the town in the distance. All the children's eyes upon him as he guides them into the mist.
You press deeper into this edge of your vision, this place where smoke and mist meet, where the future is uncertain. And for the first time, you remember more vividly the screams, the destruction, the fire of that raid. The soldiers who tore your town apart. The death that was around you. You remember the bodies laying there lifeless, and they flicker back and forth between these two memories that seem to collide as you're in this burning town and then suddenly looking down at the desiccated corpse of a quiet village in winter. As they flip back and forth as you press, as you move further, as you're carried on into the darkness beyond where the death of this place is, where your first death happened, where disease and weakness claimed you, took your body, and where something else found you. Where you were shifted and turned. And you wonder if this was where you would turned into whatever you are now. Someone found you. They rescued you. They rescued the only survivors from that town. But there was a cost. You remember now the feeling of being controlled. You remember the feeling of your body not being your own, of you providing the commands, but someone commanding your brain. You remember being a soldier of your own, but not one of strength and steel, but one of stealth and shadow. An unstoppable force that could blend in to anything, anywhere. A tool for assassination that, no matter the wounds received, could be able to recover with that around them. Be able to press forward and complete the mission to return home. These strange pieces, these things that have been kept so far from you are now flooding into your mind as if forced into it. You see yourself standing above these bodies, these other soldiers. The enemy. Your enemy? No. But whoever's enemy that was guiding your hand, that was moving your blade. You don't know how many you were responsible for the death of. But you know that there was a good bit of time where you served in this conflict, where you ended lives without knowing why, without knowing who. There were directives. There weren't decisions. How does that make Boko feel?
I think Boko had always known that there were horrors in the gaps in his memory, but he was never able to quantify them. I think this is something that's going to take him a long while to process.
You find the pain, the confusion of this experience, remembering the words that were spoken to you. Know that this is going to be a challenge and that it's just getting started. As we return back to everyone awakening from their rest, recharged and refreshed, but still within this Mournland, you all are less than a day's journey away from the Citadel, but you are down one companion. There is some light that returns in the closest approximation to a morning that the Mournland has. And Roland, upon leading the group through the rest of these ravines, really, at this point, you finally emerge out the other side and see about a half-mile down a sloping hill those rails that continue on. And for the first time, you get sight of where your destination is. You see this immense structure that breaks out of the destroyed land, the deep carvings around you. But it is a ruin. The stone that was likely once beautiful, that was built up to be a monument, a tower, to some great study, has since fallen and crumbled. And now remains this ominous obelisk to the sky. And at the very top, you see this immense cylindrical structure that juts out at an angle. This massive piece of machinery that takes you a moment to fully understand what it is. But you've been on enough ships to know what a telescope looks like. And this is the biggest one that you have ever seen. You all are just on the edge of what is known as the Starmantle Citadel. Now seeing it in the distance, what would you all like to do?
I'll turn to Professor Greystorm and just say, remind me what we're looking for here again.
This is supposed to be the place where they did much of their academic study. We are looking for the information they found on the cure for this disease. I assume that it will be in some sort of study or library within the structure, though I must admit I was not expecting it to be this big.
I wonder what they were looking at with that.
Well, I assume the only thing they could look at before the mist, the stars. The great spheres that surround our own.
closed book is never read. And he'll start walking forward.
All right. For all of you, as you begin to approach this massive structure, how are you going about it? Are you all moving with stealth? Are you all trying to move with expediency? The land around is still somewhat treacherous, moving through as these ravines and valleys break forth into more flat
Clyde
land.
spent 10 minutes taking his pants off.
Maybe that long?
They're really tight.
Just while everyone...
lantern oil or something?
There is a significant amount of shimmying involved.
Yes.
While everyone's just looking
especially when you're
at this,
hungover.
this gorgeous relic, Clyde is just like...
And that way, then I'll sneak, so that I'm not sneaking at like 7.5 feet per movement.
You don't want to inchworm your way there?
I mean, we can try that. I know. What we can do is I'll just giddy up the whole way there. I'll sneak while doing the giddy up.
2 coconuts.
I assume it makes the noise. Oh, and before we go, Clyde's going to look down at his chest and try and activate his invisibility vest. Just on a hunch.
Clyde, go ahead and roll me a d20.
Oh, this isn't good.
It's a spell. Huh?
Okay, that's good.
First one of the night.
Now roll me another d20.
Alright, duality of man.
No. Okay.
Alright.
Another one. 5.
You all watch as Clyde casts invisibility on himself.
Hey. Well, good, because he's just taking his pants off.
Were you Winnie the Poohing it?
For men and industry. The other pants are at the bottom of the bag of holding. There's some things that
underneath Boko.
Well, hey, one of them worked. Hopefully. Maybe. Well, I'm a sneak like this, so I'm doing good, guys. I'll be behind you, Roland, and Clyde will slap you right on the ass.
Please tell me you have pants on again.
Ah, right. You hear the sound of pants being put on.
Ooh.
Oh no. What have I done?
Oh.
So are you guys trying to move stealthily then?
I am neither.
I'm gonna
good
be
at stealth nor
expedient
good
for
at
the first
helping.
bit after that.
Wait, can't keep up.
We'll do a group check for this. Who would like to lead the group stealth check as we get into it?
I can, unless the small one would like to.
1, 2, 3. Not it. I don't. Not with a 3 in
way.
stealth, even while invisible. No,
Not
thank
me.
you. Maybe I put
Take
the wrong
hushing
pants
the
back
front
on.
group. I'll take hushing the back group.
Fair enough. But yeah, I'll go ahead and lead it up at the front.
All right, we're gonna try another group check here. So we'll say for the front group that will be Greystorm, Theschault, Rhea, and Renny. So Theschault or Renny, do either of you two have anything that you'd like to do to try and help assist this effort? Whether it's directly stealth or something else supplemental.
Besides casting a spell.
That isn't.
I suppose I can't perform a stealthy thing. Pretend to be stealthy. No,
Performance check. I am performing like a stealth.
I've played dozens of spies.
Comically sneaking, yes. If I exaggerate
Panther
the
music
motions of
plays
sneaking,
in the background.
yeah, then
Get
it
a
should
natural
work,
one,
right?
so it starts making sound effects.
I don't
Oh,
think there's
goodness.
anything in my repertoire
done.
that helps with stealth. Crap.
And
Just
it,
shoot out a fog cloud wherever we go.
I mean, well, I could, but it doesn't move and also risks the magic coming alive. Then we're definitely getting found out.
Oh, if it comes alive, it'll be moving.
and it might
Or
not
I could
be.
do orc stealth and just shout, "You can't see me."
Oh, but we have to paint ourselves
That's
purple.
gotta be
and we didn't bring the
deception,
paint.
I actually truly don't think I have a useful skill in here, Austin.
I don't either. All my machinery is going to make noise if I try and use it to do anything.
That is totally fine. So as you guys try your best to try and help out,
Do your best not to make noise.
we'll see. Greystorm is going to try and keep an eye on the terrain, kind of looking and focusing in to try and see if there's any risk of things like sinkholes or any type of collapses or any other unstable aspects to this area around you, and will succeed. So for Rhea, I need you to make me a stealth check. It would be at a DC 16, but with 2 failures, 1 success, it's going to be a DC 18 now.
Forgot to tell you guys before I died. Beware the Mournland.
Where the Mournland's what? I mean, that's a good statement by itself, but...
The Mournland's quicksand.
No.
Shoot.
A good old.
And the RUS.
Yeah. You read my mind, David.
I don't believe they exist.
Okay. Great roll there. Perfect. The second group is going to be Bungo, Roland, Clyde, and Jasira. So for the 4 of you, with Roland leading up, so for Bungo, Clyde, and Jasira, is there anything that the 3 of you are doing to try and help ease this check here?
Clyde is invisible and so is using his best ability to look and see if anything else is coming, because nothing's going to see him, hopefully.
Modifiers on that sentence.
Ironic.
Give me a perception check.
True sight would make that statement false.
Mm-hmm.
Just a whispering in Roland's ear.
All right. For Bungo and Jasira, is there anything the 2 of you are doing to try and assist here?
I'm trying to see if I can do anything other than the obvious, which is make her invisible also.
Bungo is using all of the
Roland
skills.
looks behind him, everyone's gone.
What was that, Bungo?
Bungo is using all of the skills that Rhea taught him.
Oh, Bungo.
He's trying
gonna
as
stab
hard
Roland
as
in the
he
kidney.
can.
Bungo, go ahead and give me a stealth check here. But do it with intelligence.
Stealth with intelligence.
Yeah, so intelligence instead of dexterity. So I don't know if you're trained in stealth, so it might just be an intelligence roll.
Yeah, it is just an intelligence roll.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking with Jasira's kind of comfort and darkness, she's going to probably try to stick to any of the more shaded areas along the path. Be very methodical and sneaky. Maybe help people avoid things that might make noise.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check as well then.
Sounds good. Hopefully the rolls are with us. Yes, they are.
Very nice.
Can that just be the check for the group?
No,
I don't want to delete it up.
We haven't seen any red in a while.
All right, so Roland, you're going to make a stealth check. Would be at DC 16. 2 failures makes it DC 20. 1 success makes it DC 18, and then with the invisible Clyde brings it down to a DC 17. And these are not
Hopefully made it a
necessarily
little bit
pass fail, but scaling.
Oh.
I could feel the nerves on that one. So thankfully, with the expertise of everyone, Bungo, you're still learning some of the skills to really get a mastery of it. But Rhea taught you well enough that you're able to get the hang of it. And you all begin to approach this structure. The ground around, with the help of Greystorm, you all are able to dodge out of any possible environmental hazards that might have been there. And as you approach, you see as the different levels of this structure kind of rise up, and some of them are kind of broken, and you can see into some of them. Most of them still have light that seems to be emitting, and you actually see some of these around the edges, these arcane lights that seem to still exist here and still seem to be active, of different colors. You see orange and blues and greens, all pulsing from different areas on the structure. As you quietly get up to the edge of this building, you see the structure is strange. The architecture itself isn't something that many of you are very familiar with. And one of these sides of this structure, there's kind of a cliff that falls off to the right as you guys are moving around along the path. But there's these large, they almost look like mechanical legs, where they're like large pipes or metal beams that are kind of extended out from the side of this structure to give it kind of this supporting and this bracing. And you can see more of those arcane lights that kind of shimmer with this blue flickering glow. And as you kind of get to the corner, you can hear the sound and movement of something up ahead. And as you glance forward, you do see kind of in this vague light here, more of these strange, corrupted Warforged. You guys quickly pull back around the corner. You caught a glimpse of at least 2 of them. But it's a pretty large open courtyard, and so you're not sure, without getting more of a look at the full thing, how many there really are.
Why didn't I use a crossbow?
I got one if you need to borrow it.
I might need to.
I'm not sure you appreciate just how loud a fucking crossbow is.
I mean, as opposed to a boomstick.
Or a dagger with booming blade attached.
That too. True.
You could just
Mr.
use the
Stealth,
dagger without the
you've chosen
booming
your
blade.
weapons of choice very particularly.
I'm a loud rogue, okay? I sneak
A loud
until
rogue.
no one needs to know that I'm sneaking anymore. No one
Sneak
can
until
see
it is
me if
too
they are all
late.
dead.
No one
heavy
can
stealth.
notice if there's no one to notice.
Exactly. I used retroactive stealth.
They died. They never saw me.
Stealth is achieved on every mission, even when it's optional.
That's how I play Dishonored. Wait a second.
What was the thing? It's like, it's Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's like, I've heard stories. It's a ghost ship, never leaves anyone alive. Never leaves anyone alive, eh?
Wonder
Where do the stories come from?
I love it.
I mean, first order of business, we gotta look for another Titan. Make sure there's none of those around before we decide whether or not stealth is optional.
Currently, you've seen 2 of these corrupted Warforged, just the normal sized ones.
Then let's try and sneak up on them and gank them old-fashioned style.
I'll say with the stealth checks that you have, you kind of begin to move around, and this path is kind of curving around this building, and you've got kind of a cliffside that falls off for you don't know how far off to your right, and the building to your left. And you're kind of curling around, and as it's leading around kind of this curved edge of like a tower, and you see in front where this courtyard is kind of spread out, and maybe, I don't know, a good 60, 70 feet in front of, we'll say kind of Theschault and Greystorm kind of in that front group with Rhea, and kind of behind Roland, Bungo, Clyde. You are coming up around this corner, and currently you haven't been noticed, and there's some kind of like brush, as well as the large metal beams that you guys are kind of hiding behind and watching as these Warforged, they don't seem purposeful. They kind of amble about. They seem there, but not really that aware. You're not sure if you could walk by them, but they don't seem to be like active guards the same way that typical guards would look and respond in a place like this.
So they should be easy to sneak up on, but I don't want them to have to worry about them being here on the way out in case of an expeditious retreat.
Exactly.
So yeah, I still want to take them out.
Yeah,
I also very much still have a grudge against these fuckers.
How are you trying to
crossbow? Or you want to go loud?
I'm drawing Boko's bone knife.
Symbolic.
Ironic. The ironic thing about Boko is that all of his bones were outside of his body.
They were supposed to be, though.
He had the same number of bones as the average person. They were all just outside of his body.
All right, Roland. I don't have any more alcohol to deal with any of this bullshit. Let's just go stab some evil robot things. I'll be behind you. No. If you get overwhelmed, I'll take a shot. And then you can get attack.
Alright, so
I don't want to lose
Jasira
invisibility.
Yeah, that's fair. Jasira and I are probably the best bets to try and take these things out expediently.
And Clyde will be waiting with the crossbow. Just in case things get hairy, one of them needs to all of a sudden make another attack. If things don't work out.
Is a hand crossbow for anyone else a regular sized crossbow for Clyde?
Listen.
It looks like it, even if it doesn't operate like it.
Hey, Clyde has a light crossbow. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, so Roland, as you and Clyde and Jasira are kind of preparing to kind of move up against this creature, go ahead and give me stealth rolls. We'll say at advantage, since you guys have kind of come up unseen so far, as you're kind of maneuvering around, trying to stick to the edges, not make unnecessary notice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now watch me roll a 2 on the attack.
And then Jasira, same thing.
Hey,
very nice.
Oh,
advantage is nice.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's the duality we were waiting for.
As the two of you begin to kind of move up towards these creatures, you see as you get about 10-15 feet from the first one, and you see kind of spread out across this courtyard. It's a good like 50-foot square. You see a kind of bridge, an obelisk in the center, and it looks like about 5 or 6 of these things scattered across this courtyard, each about 15 to 20 feet from another. You see one, kind of the closest one to you, that's right next to some brush, and you kind of move up to try and take advantage of their proximity to kind of get this stealth attack in, and try and take them out before any of the others can notice. So who would like to make the first attack?
So 2 things. One, if I could use Insightful Manipulator on the approach and then draw an offhand dagger as well.
Sure.
What you should have done is taken Boko's leg that he used to kick.
Unfortunately, it's still attached to the other one.
Like nunchucks.
That is a difference of 20, so I believe you get to use any of your options.
Knockout blow. Next time you attack the creature, you stun it until the end of your next turn.
Hey.
What up?
So, I will absolutely take the first one unless you want to, Jacera.
You're good.
Oh, that's nice.
Alright.
Hit it with advantage, then get the second one at advantage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll keep it thematic because Boko always drew the dagger in his offhand, so I'll make that my offhand shot, and I'll use the +1 dagger in my main hand, and just sneak up behind and.
All right, give me those attack rolls at advantage.
So first attack. But it's stunned. I hit the right spot to stun it.
The next time you attack the creature.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that might
time
be.
you attack, not the next time you hit. And we did this with the sea monster attacking the boat. I missed, but still stunned it.
It is stunned by your absolute.
I couldn't believe that your first opening blow would miss.
That we might have to see if we need to change that. That's funny though. I don't care about it too much right now because it should matter. But I still find that really amusing. Okay. Yeah. So as you go out and you're more focused about trying to get the advantage in this moment, and don't even really do much damage to this creature at all. But you knock it straight into, you've been studying these things as you've been more or less dissecting them. And at this point, you've got a decent understanding of their anatomy, and rack it right into its core, and it is unable to move. And if you would like, you can make another round of attacks, or if you would like, just hear it and make hers. However you guys want to do this.
Let's let Jathira make hers.
Wait, you got your offhand. Or...
Oh, I rolled it. It was another 13.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was the same one.
Nope.
Oh,
nope. 10 and a 13, and then 13 and 9.
So like,
Boko to the end of your next turn.
Boko leaves, and you went from being a melee fighter back to being a sniper. Like it just
crazy.
Now
Wait,
I
is
can't
that going
melee.
on the Roland. Is that two?
No. On the
You're
dagger,
dead.
2
The Roland
notches
miscounter is no
appear.
longer here.
On the dagger, 2 notches appear.
the dagger was counting it the whole time. He enchanted it to count. Oh gosh, that would be
Also,
too
This
funny.
is what real artificers are capable of.
Oh, fuck you. do melee misses count? Or is it only ranged misses?
Well, if you're a melee fighter now.
I thought he had 2 different lists, but I don't remember.
But yeah, that's 4 d20 rolls against not difficult enemies, and none of them hit.
That's crazy, man. That is just wild. Okay.
I'm glad it's today and not yesterday.
Yeah.
We would have all died if this had happened yesterday.
It's crazy how these rolls tonight have been insane. Okay. Well,
Right.
for Jasira, if you would like to go ahead and make your rolls here.
So, do I understand it that they're stunned? So then, would that make it at
Well,
advantage?
Nope.
Yours is
Your
just
first
unaware.
one is at advantage because they're unaware,
Correct.
Yours is
I'm
stun.
sneaky.
unless you stun it.
Oh yeah, unless you stun.
Well, we can see if I make it roll the con save and I win. That'd be cool.
21.
So I'm assuming 21 is good.
Yes, 21 definitely hits.
I'm down to go for a stunning strike if they can, in fact, be
Trying to
stunned.
keep it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
What's the DC?
That is a great question. What was that math again? I always forget. I try to write it down somewhere. I think it might be in bio.
Oh.
8 plus wisdom plus proficiency for you.
Good math.
Yep, there it is. Okay, so 8 plus 2 plus 3. So 13. Not terrible, or not great, but yeah.
Lily got a 12, so it
Hell
That's
yes.
good
barely
enough.
fails.
But it's good enough.
Now it's time to murder.
Let's kick its ass.
Now you're at advantage for the rest.
Yep, so that's the first one. And we'll do
16 hits. Yep.
cool. And how about we'll do a 24? Because I'm going to do this blah, blah. Flurry of blows, please. Would be nice. We're just going to take them all out.
15
Ooh,
hits
15.
too.
Baller. Good. Yes, we'll just unleash that real quick.
Okay, Jasira, as you send out this flurry of quick punches, as Roland kind of knocks it in the head and kind of pulls it backwards as you just slam down into its head and chest.
Oh, I thought we were taking the two of them.
Oh, you're
Separate.
taking 2 of them?
Separate.
Ah,
Yeah.
Right,
my
because there were
apologies.
2 ambling next to each other, right?
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah, we
figured.
were each sneaking up on one and jumping him at the same time.
Sorry, I misunderstood that. So yeah, so you move over and just slam with a flurry of blows into this creature, just smashing into its chest and neck as you see as it starts to spark, and you manage to stun it and lock it into place, damaging it enough that it is unable to move. Luckily, Roland is able to do the same. So far, you all have been able to escape any sort of alarm. Roland, what are you doing next?
Yeah.
Or Clyde, I know you're also watching. Was there anything that you wanted to do before we wrap around?
They have neither things has moved at all yet. Clyde is waiting for this to go poorly. So far, he's seen Roland grab his thing and his thing not do anything, and Jasira just pummel hers into oblivion.
Fair enough.
So it's going good.
So he's waiting. He wants to stay invisible because he doesn't want to be visible for whatever shenanigans happen.
Fair. Okay,
Yeah.
Roland, then back to you.
Okay. I need... What is the effect that gives me the D4 lightning damage? Was that a spell from Greystorm?
Yes.
No, your own Stormwell enchantment does it
Okay.
naturally. Greystorm can add another one, but you've got 1d4 just on all your ranged attacks. It's ranged attacks
Ranged.
only. Yep.
Okay. I will worry about that later then.
Or the
Okay.
knife at him.
Alright, dagger 1. Okay.
17 hits.
Okay.
We like that.
With the sneak attack in there.
Mhm.
Can you do your thing again? Your insightful manipulator?
No, I want the
you want the
The
attack.
bonus
stab.
action, yeah.
Actually, since the first one hit, I imagine that doesn't take him down immediately.
Not quite, but it is a considerable blow.
Yank him! Clyde's ready to shoot you in the back. Should this go poorly.
here.
And you can't stun him again anyway.
No, because that's the... Okay. I'm gonna do Insightful Manipulator again.
Okay.
With my bonus action. Just with one dagger in, I'm just like looking for the next spot.
Okay, give me another investigation roll.
Alright. Please be above 16.
So this one you get, let's see. This one is a difference of 8.
Dang it. So hole in the defenses.
He got cocky, Clyde.
I will... Yeah, I'll give, I guess, myself the bonus on attack rolls until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
Clyde will
I was
take a
hoping
shot.
for perfect opening so that as soon as its turn rolled around, I could just go tink with another sneak attack. Because the maximum amount of damage I'd be able to crank out with the offhand would have been 4.
Yep. Totally understand. Yeah, Clyde, so you're gonna take a shot with the crossbow?
At the one Roland's holding.
Go ahead and give me that attack
See if
roll.
I'll hit anything. Hey!
16 hits.
6 piercing damage.
Ooh, what are we at? Might be pretty close. Oh shoot, did I not put that down? Hold on.
Oh no, it's immortal.
Okay, Clyde, you thunk this thing in the side with a bolt as Roland has kind of pulled it into the brush here, and it is barely hanging on at this point.
Roland can now make a free attack against it as Clyde becomes visible.
Yep.
Oh, actually, let me see if I got a critical. No, okay. Because I was invisible.
That's true.
Alright. I will roll regular because we're now past my turn.
Yep.
Regular roll.
Okay, I got to be epic with the rifle last time. I'll start rolling up my new character soon.
You pull this creature in as you pull it into the brush, and as Clyde fires this bolt, it carves into the side, and you go out to strike, and it just reaches up with just the last bit of strength that it has and grasps onto your hand. As this kind of worry sets into your mind as you weren't able to finish it off quite in this moment. Just here, you've got one more moment here.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Yes, what? Who? Why?
It's already on the counter.
Wait.
Notches don't come off the knife.
Does a 14 hit?
I believe 15 is what you need, but let me open it up.
Because I have a
just to be
bonus on
sure.
attack rolls against this creature equal to my intelligence modifier until the end of my next turn.
You do. Let me go ahead and make 100% sure. I believe it's 15, but I will go open up the stat block.
That would definitely be
how it always
proper.
goes.
Well, hey, you also have advantage, and you don't have much left in the day.
Wait, I have advantage? What from?
Grieving for Boko.
Oh, you mean inspiration?
Ah,
Oh.
yes, that's the word.
That
Yeah.
other thing.
The thing that gives advantage.
Shoot,
That one.
where is my... Oh, there it is.
Yeah, if it's a miss, I will burn my inspiration.
Okay, let me... There we go. Where is my Warforged stat block? It is AC 15, so that would miss.
I'll burn my inspiration to roll again.
Okay.
We'll use all the resources to kill these 2 no-name guards.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
No,
Yeah.
and that's a crit with the expanded crit range.
Nice. Roll to...
Nice.
Roll to confirm.
Yep.
Steal its soul. Steal its soul.
Wait.
Nice.
Yo!
Is that a... What happens if you double crit?
We don't do
Well, you can-
cascading crits, at least not yet. That might be something we have to look into.
Oh, God.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh no! Boko, his next character is gonna only last one combat. 4 crits in a row.
Yeah, Roland,
So-
how do you want to do this as you finish this creature off?
Yo.
Just like after the knock in the head and just trying to get into it and going, where is the spot there? And then just like base of the brainstem sever the connection with the processing unit, and then the blade sticks out the mouth, and then slowly lower it to the ground without noise.
Very, very nice. And then that brings us to Jasira.
Well, we will start with 2 hits and see what happens. Try to save key if I can, and I do believe it is still stunned
yeah,
until
still
the
stunned.
end of my next turn. So let's get
Correct.
a couple more hits off here. Natty. And a
Nice.
17. Hopefully this does it. Good night.
Yeah. No problem at all. 2 swift punches to this creature, and more just snaps as you twist the skull and shove it down into the rest of the body as the creature goes limp and the blue light of its eyes fades out.
I think she was inspired by Roland's little, and that's the spot. And she was like, hey, okay.
I can get to that too.
Yeah.
You guys have pulled these creatures into the brush where you still currently hide. You can see about 4 others across this courtyard and passage. There's 2, one kind of at the entrance to this passage that seems to wind further up, this kind of rocky passage. And then there's 2 that are kind of nested between what looks like 2 doors. One beside this, the kind of tower that you guys passed by around, where this blue light is kind of pouring out from some of the side windows.
We'll wave up the rest of the party to take a look at it.
So right now, you guys are kind of in the courtyard. If you bring everybody up, it's gonna could risk things. So you guys can still attempt it, but it's how
We'll
you guys
kinda,
want to. And
Pull
here,
back to the next safe
actually,
spot, basically.
let me just pull you on there. Let me just pull you on there.
That's never a safe thing.
All the rays of light everywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
quite a bit of light. And you all are in this courtyard having just disposed of the 2 next to you. But you can see where some more are within this courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I? Oh, there I am. That's weird.
Clyde becomes visible. His pants are on backwards.
How did he... Never mind.
Why? Zipper.
Good job, Clyde.
Yes, designed
Is
by
he
the
just wearing
artificers of the
sweatpants?
Metropolis.
Yeah.
We've gone
The
over this.
Grand
Clyde uses
Tailors.
his whip to hold his pants up, so he's got the bone whip holding his pants up right now.
So
No,
instead
the
of a zipper,
bone whip
he
is
has a
in your
whipper.
arm now.
Oh.
Don't
Oh,
got any
old
whip
whip then.
anymore. It's old whip. It's all it's good for anymore. But yeah,
Okay.
so you guys maneuvering through, and I'll see. So Roland, with your sight, you've seen a couple of them. One over here by an entrance.
Interesting.
That's why I'm missing one more bit of light.
Thingy is translucent.
Oh, wow. Yes.
My token is translucent. That's fascinating.
It is.
What is
But
going
only
on
yours.
here?
Yeah. I am invisible.
You stealth so good.
Uh-huh.
That's why.
Permanent invisibility.
Oh, hey.
That
Now you
fix-
give off light.
Oh. No, you're blue. That's why. Go away. Save.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Did that fix it? There we go.
I can see
Yeah.
so much.
There we go.
I can see clearly now when we're in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think a Titan can fit in that.
So true.
There
Yeah,
we
now how do we get
go.
the
That's much
other-
better.
Apple.
That's what it should look like.
Ooh.
So yeah, You guys can see one up by the opening of this path that extends up to the northwest, and one kind of nestled further within, and then you can see 2 down here by the doors.
Okay. Well, we took 2 off the board with stealthily. The rest probably not going to be so stealthy.
No.
I will sneak back to the others. We got a couple. There's a couple more. It might get hairy. If we hear Roland yell, we should probably go run it.
We're back to the old. If I signal run
On
for
my
help.
signal.
What's the signal? I will probably scream.
I mean, hey, you ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
So I'm gonna kind of motion over to Jasira of a like pointing out this one up here and wondering if she can sneak through the bushes to get close enough to it. But I think that's the only one we're gonna be able to sneak up on to kick this shit off.
Yeah, she'll kind of give you a nod and
his shot.
she'll get ready to do that. Because I assume we'd be able to kind of sneak over through.
Yeah, just
my
here,
black card.
go ahead and give me another stealth check at advantage here.
Sounds good. 21.
Nice.
That's still good.
You
That's
can
so
make
good.
you can make your first attack roll at advantage if you'd like to give off a round of attacks on this entity.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna try to be sneaky.
And then if she doesn't drop it with this round of attacks, I will shoot it and drop it.
Okay.
Clyde is going to shoot it with its crossbow first. He's lined up.
I would also
So
wish
she can hit
try.
crossbow, hit it again.
Yeah, I'm also gonna try to paralyze, stun and strike.
Okay. Oh, definitely passed.
Not as good.
Not as
Bummer.
good.
Okay. Well, he's still gonna get hurt with 6, and we're gonna try one more time because I get at least one
80.
more. 23, stunning strike.
Okay. Yeah, another
Lower?
pass. Lower, but
Ooh.
not low enough.
Bummer. All right. Well, I'll need to save the rest of the key, so that'll be the attempt there.
You do get your 1 free bonus action attack if you want it.
Oh yeah. Then of course.
If you're not using your bonus action for anything else.
Nothing else. 18.
Oh,
4.
hold on. The first one was at advantage. The second 2 weren't. So the 112 would have hit. So we'll just do the 6 and the
Sorry.
6. Yeah, no worries. I didn't catch it either for a second. So yeah, so 12 points as you lash out. Clyde, you can go ahead and make your shot, but it will have partial or half cover from the obelisk in the center of this courtyard here.
That's fine. Hitting's just the
Bonus.
fun part. Yeah, if I hit anything.
That hits.
Yeah.
Goodness.
It's a win.
Jeez.
9
When I hit.
Spirit.
Get him.
Hit again.
Sierra, you can
Another
make
attempt?
another attack. Yeah.
All right, but regular.
Yes. Flat.
Yes.
Okay. Flat.
Flat.
Ew. Garbage.
All right, Roland, you watch as Jasira swings out twice towards this creature, and Clyde tries to help her finish it off, but you see as it's struggling and starting to turn towards her. Are you going to take a shot?
Alright. Yep, and I'm still unseen, yes?
Yeah.
Alright, so at advantage, lay out with the rifle.
There you go.
Give me that
Good
damage.
And now I need the D4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna code it real quick.
When this gunshot goes off, Clyde will look back to the rest of the group. I think that was the signal.
As everyone's ears are ringing. Okay.
Can you re-roll that?
With your thing.
So the rifle
Oh, it already
damage
did.
automatically re-rolls because I need to fix that because I had assumed it was weapon damage only, so I need to pull that out. But I will re-roll the rest of it as well. So it's 3d6 and a d4.
So the D4 is different damage though, because it's the lightning. So that one wouldn't, right? Because it's just the damage type from your feet.
Once per
Yeah, I
turn, when
think
you roll
it's-
damage for a piercing weapon attack, it is a part of the same attack unless it is a separate trigger.
I think it has to be piercing damage, right? Because it works on your
It's
sneak
piercing.
attack.
Yeah, I need
When
to
you
fix
roll
the word on that.
damage for a piercing weapon attack.
I think I need to fix the wording of that. I think the intent is to focus on. I'll look into it. Regardless, it shouldn't matter for this one.
Because it is not the standard 5e feat. It's in
Yeah.
your tree.
Correct.
And it is in the piercing weapon tree.
Yes.
So it's enabling anything done with a piercing weapon, not enabling piercing damage.
Kind of, but I think the intent is to be on the piercing damage for the weapon. But it doesn't really matter right now. I think you will have plenty to take this guy down, and I'll look into it.
Okay.
Because we're about done.
Much better on that.
Yeah.
So 28.
So you
I like
give
that.
you
Yeah,
give
yeah.
a shot through as you blast into this creature, blowing it out of Jasira's arms. And as this shot rings out, alerting the others to your presence, and everyone begins to prepare for what might come next. That's, I think, where we're gonna wrap it up for this week, and where we'll go into things. So, on the edge here of the Starlight Citadel is where we'll break for the holidays, and where we shall return and see what is next for our adventures in this journey through the Mournland. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys all next time. Talk to you then.